You guys hear that ringing too? That's not just me? Okay, good. Look, I already know what you're thinking. You saw this in the thumbnail. You almost didn't click on the video because you're not a shredder, you're not Tom Quayle, and you don't play a 7-string. You probably think, I don't need one of these, that's for cheaters, and truthfully, that's what I used to think too. I've always seen guitar players that play very differently than me using these. Guys that play heavier music, guys that play 7 strings, they're playing tapping, crazy fast things that I don't really play, and I just assumed I didn't need one of these or that this was not going to be of any use to me whatsoever. For a long time, I assumed that this was not for me either, until I started recording acoustic guitars, and in the microphones and the tracks, I kept hearing this like ringing, this really annoying ringing I just couldn't get rid of, and it turns out it was actually all the sympathetic vibration from the strings above the nut. So there are 2 ways that the fret wrap is generally used. The way that I like to use it is to put it on behind the nut just so it mutes all that sympathetic vibration. So there it is with it muted and without it. It's a huge difference. Another way it's often used is guys will actually put it on a fret somewhere to mute out the strings completely. So if you're playing something fast with some tapping and hammer-ons high up, maybe with a lot of gain, you don't want to accidentally ring out an open string. It could ruin the performance. That's the second way it's used. Personally, I've never used it that way, so I'm not going to comment on that today other than you can use it that way. I really want to talk about its uses behind the nut. Now, if you never noticed when you strummed an open chord that you get a ringing, I'm really sorry because you'll never unhear it, and I think you actually might need to get yourself one of these now. We've probably all strummed our guitar like this, especially when we were first learning. I know all my students love to do that. It sounds like something out of a horror movie, and unless you're trying to make that sound, it's not overly desirable. The strings can be really sensitive back here, and really that's all that's happening. When you strum a G chord, for instance, there's some open strings in there. They're causing the strings above the nut to ring out and give you sounds you might not want. So again, here's just an open G chord strummed, stopped. We have all that ringing going on. And then when I put the fret wrap on, it completely gets rid of it on any chord or a riff. It's funny, I actually almost never see acoustic guitar players using one of these, and I think it's such a useful tool. I don't know, maybe I'm committing some kind of cardinal sin, and I'm going to hear about it from you guys in the comments, and acoustic guitars are not supposed to have these on them, but I think it does a really, really great job at deadening the sound if that's what you're after. If you find that sympathetic ringing annoying, this is a really, really easy solution. If you guys are enjoying this, I would super appreciate it if you just click that like button down below. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm to let YouTube know that you guys are enjoying this. It pushes the video to more people. The more people that see these, the more my channel grows. The more my channel grows, the more I can dedicate my time to creating free content like this. Now, if you want to try this, but you don't want to commit and spend the money on a fret wrap, like me for a long time, you can literally take any piece of fabric at home and just wrap it around above the nut of the guitar. You can use a buff, a bandana, you can borrow one off your dog if you want, or you can literally just take your sock off and wrap it around the guitar. It's going to do the job just fine. Although if you're making videos or playing live, maybe you want something a little more professional looking. This is the most budget-friendly fret wrap I could find on Amazon. It's about $5 cheaper than the name brand one. I've put a link down below in the description. If you do want to pick one of these up and you do it through one of the links down below, those are affiliate links, so I do make a small commission, which is another way you can help support the channel. Do you think this could make a big difference for you, or do you think this is better left to guys playing high gain music? Let me know down below in the comments. Something else that makes a really big difference to the overall tone quality of our guitars is the strings. And if you're interested in checking out my latest video on coated strings versus plain strings, click right here. As always, guys, thank you so much for your time and attention in such a noisy world, and I hope you get out there and make some music.